Happy Devils Wednesday. This is a State of the Fan address. Episode, I think it's 306, Nick. That's a lot of episodes. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with pucksandpitchforks.com editor-in-chief Nick Villano. Sorry for the late start. Technical difficulties. I'm back from my vacation, Nick, after that free agent non-frenzy. But the NHL schedule has come out. We got lots to catch up on. News from last week and the week before. Nick, how are you, my friend?
I'm mad.
Oh,
I'm mad about the schedule.
Oh,
I am flabbergasted that not only do the Devils only have 3 games against the Rangers, with only one at the Prudential Center, and that game is at 3 p.m. The one Rangers-Devils game at the Rock this season is at 3 p.m. They also only have 3 games against the Flyers. What logic is there? The 2 games that are the easiest to get to, you make happen the least amount of times of the year. Fans are going to travel to Philly. Fans are going to travel to the Rangers. This is what I'm mad at AI. I am mad at our artificial intelligence overlords for ruining this hockey schedule. This is I am at a loss for words for how terrible it is. It's almost like, did you ever have something where you worked in corporate America, you sent a project out, or you sent an assignment or whatever you want to call it out, and you're like, all right, I would like my boss to put a second set of eyes on this. It's like, oh, can you check this? It's like, yeah. And they didn't check it. They just sent it up the chain, and then there was a mistake in it, and you fall on your sword, and you're like, oh, well, it's like, well, Sam did it. That's why I feel like there's a person here who's supposed to check the work of the AI. And they're like, no, just send it. And they hit sent on it, and we have 3 Rangers games with one a 3 p.m. start for the Devils. I feel bad, mostly, honestly, for the season ticket holders. Because you're paying the same price for all these games, thinking you're going to get 2 Rangers games. And I don't even get mad at the people who sell the games. Because you can make a third of your season selling those 2 Rangers games, but now you're not going to make that money. Right? And a lot of people are already locked into their tickets. Also, we could get an extra Columbus Blue Jackets game. Also, we could get another, truly, it's so you could get you can get another game against the Detroit Red Wings or the Montreal Canadiens. Truly, you're doing it. They took 2 games from the Metro, so you could hand those extra games to have extra games against the Atlantic, and I don't care. I like playing Florida and Boston and Montreal as and Toronto as those benchmark games, but not to sacrifice a Rangers game, or even I know the Flyers are going to stink this year. I still want to play the Flyers, and I want to beat the Flyers.
who doesn't? I'm mad too. I'm trying to look for solutions to this problem. And number one,
check your work, NHL. That's all you got to do. Come on, Gary.
Oh, is this their way?
Stop taking victory laps over the terrible decentralized draft that you signed on for again, and check the work of your schedule makers, which is just an AI bot.
Tell you the truth, this is all about costs. It's quite obvious. Again, this is what AI is thinking what the schedule should be. You got 3 games against the New York Rangers. No logic to it. They're going to go to an 84-game schedule very soon. Are they going to fit those games in that 84-game schedule, and you're going to hold the next, couple seasons hostage with this 82-game schedule? There is no logic in it, Nick. The only thing I could think of is Let's make the games at Madison Square Garden a Devils home game and go into enemy territory.
I know, but you got to pay like $200 to sit in the nosebleeds there.
Well, I guess we can't be cheap then. We're going to have to figure it out. Nick.
Maybe I'll just apply for a media pass and just sit in the seats. Probably get in trouble for that, but
you know what? You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
So here's where I'm at.
All right.
This is the last let's say in the Rangers thing because I'm really mad about it. But the NHL continues to show its incompetence. These are little things that matter huge. Rivalry games, they're big. And here's the thing, Sam. I don't think we're going to hear Don LaGreca's voice. The former Rangers voice, who's now the Devils voice, probably won't get to call these games because the national televised are probably going to take all three. Maybe not. Maybe I'll be a little negative. But I would imagine that Don LaGreca's beautiful voice is not going to be on any of these games. I think that between ESPN and TNT, well, I didn't get the other part. Do you know why that might not be true, Sam?
Why is that?
Because all three of these games are in the same freaking month. They put them all in, and not even are they in the same freaking month. They're in the last full month of the season. How? How stupid is this league? If one of these teams is out of the race, you basically just you took one of your most profitable matchup. I have to imagine outside of Canada, Devils Rangers tickets, as far as just a general regular season game, are some of the most expensive in the league. I have to just seeing how much they go for just a regular season game. Take out like I said, outside of Canada, outside of Toronto, especially. Devils Rangers has to be one of the most profitable regular season games on the schedule. And you put them all in March? Sam, we have to wait, was it 9 months to see a Devils Rangers game? No, 8 months. But still, this is psychotic. It's psychotic. It's truly psychotic. It's insane. I have no understanding how stupid this league is. And I'm probably Sam. I'm probably gonna get an email. And I'm gonna get yelled at.
I'll further the stupidity. All right, and I hate to break it to the NHL. They did some good things last season, but at the end of the day, maybe this is not worth as much to you, Nick, but the season opener is on the same day as Giants-Eagles at MetLife.
Yeah.
It's like, could you make it like a Friday or a Wednesday? But it had to be on that day. So now that just presents.
Why are you opening? Just skip Sunday for openers. What are you doing?
Yeah. So,
the season should open for every. The first game should be on Wednesday. You should have one game, maybe two. Maybe if you want a night game. Instead, Sam, they start the season at 5:00. They're raising the banner at 5 p.m. in Florida. And isn't the matchup against something insane? Isn't it Chicago or something?
Yeah, I believe it's against is it the Blackhawks? I think it is the Blackhawks.
I think so.
Yeah.
You couldn't make it Toronto. You couldn't make it Boston. You couldn't make it there's certain things you just have to do with a human brain.
That would have been great if they did it against Edmonton.
Right? There's literally 15 matchups. I'd be great. Do Tampa. Have a rivalry game off the top. If you do Boston, Boston has to watch Brad Marchand get his ring and lift the banner right in front of them. like you said, Edmonton. There's Dallas. There's so many much better matchups than Chicago. What are you doing? And then they leave it so that the nightcap can be the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers, two teams that missed the playoffs last year. The Penguins have Crosby, and that's it. They're selling. And I don't remember what the night game is because I just couldn't get it. I don't understand what the NHL is doing. And then I do want to talk about October. Devils have a scary October. They start off with 3 games on the road. Their first game's against Carolina. Then they go to Tampa. Then they go to Columbus, who probably is going to start the season off competent. Then you come home for Florida. Your opening game, October, was it the 16th? October 16th, first game of the Rock is against the Florida Panthers. And then you play Edmonton. Your first 2 home games are against the 2 teams in the Stanley Cup last year. 2 of the best teams in the league by far. And then I think you play Minnesota. I think that's it. This team could be 0-6. I think they should be Columbus. Honestly, they should come out of it 3-3. Realistically, they should come out of it 3-3. I think that you should be somewhat happy with that. But that's if you're starting off if Sheldon Keefe's squad starts off 1-5, 1-5-0. I don't know what you're gonna do. Are you gonna hit the panic button? I wrote about this today on pucksandpitchforks.com. Theoretically, 3-8 to start the season. It's not just on the table. It's almost like 50-50. That's what you start. And I don't say that because the Devils aren't a good team. Even at a 3-8 start, I think they make the playoffs because you got to think because again they have back-to-back matchups with the Avalanche as well later in the month. So the month doesn't get much easier. My worry with the Devils is that if you start off slow and you're in the second half of the month and you have 2 games against the Sharks, but if you're playing bad hockey or if you're not confident in yourself in this team, you might blow one of those Sharks games. You saw what happened last year. They blew a Sharks game. If you're 2-9 coming out of October, you might see a panic button hit. And here's the thing, Sam. When I look at this roster, this isn't like a cup contender like they wanted to be. I like the moves that they made, but none of those moves added even 1 win to their margin. Now, Jack Hughes being healthy adds 5 wins. Jacob Markstrom staying healthy probably adds a couple wins. The defense staying intact. Luke Hughes taking a step up. Simone Nemitz being much better than he was last year and starting the season healthy. All these things, if they work out, makes this a really good team. But you're asking a lot. And when your schedule starts that way, you got to remember, Sam, I need to take you back to October of last year. This team started without Luke Hughes, without Brett Pesce, and an injured Simone Nemitz trying to make things work. They had Seamus Casey as a rookie in the lineup, just knowing that the best thing you could do is just score goals. The defense was in shambles. You had Dougie Hamilton coming off a major pectoral injury, and he was healthy at the end of last season, so he had plenty of time to have a full workout. So that's not an excuse. But again, you got to remember, those off-season injuries, the Devils have a lot of them. Jack Hughes could face a setback and miss the start of the season. We know Johnny Kovacevic isn't going to start the season. We know that, Brett Pesce had surgery, Jesper Bratt had surgery, Luke Hughes had surgery. All these things, they could all face setbacks, and that's not including Simone Nemitz got hurt in an Olympic qualifier. Like all those things are happening. I think the Olympic qualifier is over, but players can get hurt in the preseason. So a lot can happen. A lot of guys are coming off injuries and surgeries, and I'm not even talking about Brendan Dillon, who I have no idea what to expect out of him after the injury that he suffered in the playoffs. So having that schedule at the time that they do is truly a scary proposition. A scary proposition.
It is.
But at the end of the day, I still think they'd make the play, even if they started 1-9 or whatever I just said.
But this is that's.
2-9.
But here's where I'm going to counter. I don't disagree with you, though. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. No pun intended. Last season, I truly believe that if they didn't get to that hot start in October, November, and December, I don't think they would have made the playoffs.
Probably not. And it's mostly December, right? December is when they were really good. October, they were all right. I think they were like
mid-November to December 27th. That's what we pinpointed at.
Okay.
But they had a decent start. I mean, and they were there. Like you said, they had some guys out, but they figured it out.
Once Luke and Pesci came back, they were really good.
So, again, it has not been a very sexy free agent frenzy. Are there going to be other moves? Remains to be seen. There's tremendous amount of rumors going around.
I'll say this, Sam. Oh, go ahead. So finish your point, and then I'll make a point.
I think it all boils down to I forgot his name for whatever reason. The new assistant coach that they brought in.
Oh.
Yeah, from the Flyers. I don't know why. It just
Shaw?
Yeah,
Brad Shaw?
Yeah. If their defense is airtight and their goaltending was stellar like it was last season, I think the month of October they can get out of it 500.
Yeah. And I think and again, nobody wants to hear that, but I think that should be considered not a win, but like satisfying.
Yeah.
Like you got out of 500 because then you don't have Colorado for the rest of the season. Then you don't have, you've gotten one of your Edmontons out of the way. You got one of your Floridas out of the way. You got one of your, your Minnesotas out of the way. You got some of these really good Western Conference teams off the schedule.
But it's also a good way to build your confidence. Because what you're saying is correct just based on what happened this offseason and last year. Sometimes these teams are sleeping in October and November, these elite teams. And maybe you can catch some easy points that way because they're still sleepwalking. Some teams don't turn it on until like January for whatever reason. So
and Florida's usually one of those teams.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm also
and Florida's probably, they might not have the legs after all the 3 Stanley Cup runs in a row. I think they're a playoff team easily, but you gotta look at it all.
I'll have to talk to Mrs. Wu about it. We just came back from vacation, but I'm thinking, hey, instead of going to that Giants-Eagles game, let's go to Devils-Carolina home opener, although it would be expensive because it's home opener, right? Season opener down in Carolina, and then drive from Raleigh down to Tampa. It's a Saturday game. We can hang out at Amalie Arena again.
You love that Tampa trip.
I do. I
love Tampa, so I understand, but yeah.
But I'm not motivated to drive to Columbus. That's kind of a long trip. I mean, I passed by Columbus.
Was it 20 hours?
Oh, I don't know, but I passed by Columbus.
From Tampa, I mean.
I wouldn't know, but going to the Big Ten championship game, I went through Columbus, and I'm like, there's nothing special about this dump. I mean, there's only Ohio State that's there, aside from the Blue Jackets. Right. But Again, I'm tempted to go to the first two games and make a road trip out of it. Take the podcast on the road. Shooting from the hip right now.
I feel like I drive too much as it is. That's just too. I'm a flyer now.
Well,
Not the Philadelphia one, but
let me give you a little secret. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Get clear. It's the most amazing.
Yeah, I have pre-check because it comes with my credit card. So
yeah, but you got to get clear though. That's where it makes it even better. You literally cut the line. It's the best thing ever.
One thing I want to say is I think that we've been hearing all these insiders say, "Gonna have a ton of trades. Gonna have a ton of trades. Gonna be so many trades," and we've seen really no trades. Like, people were up in arms that Chase Stillman got traded for Arthur Seov. And Arthur Seov had like an 860 save percent last year. But people were talking themselves into it. Like, oh, yeah, this is great. He's going to be great. He got traded for Chase Stillman, guys. The 4th-round pick. Chase Stillman is terrible. Chase Stillman, if I'd be surprised, plays 10 NHL games.
And that's on Fitzy. That's on Fitzy.
Terrible. That might be his worst decision. I think that's his worst decision. The Devils should have had Logan Stankoven. This isn't just like a revisionist history thing. We were all calling for Fitzgerald to draft Logan Stankoven when they had that 29th overall pick. I want to go back to
the video,
our draft podcast that night.
We're going to have to
see what I was saying.
We're going to have
see what we were saying. Because I remember I was pissed. Sorry. I was mad. I was livid that he drafted Stillman. And I was like, this is a disgrace. He took a 4th-round pick in the first round. It was terrible. And with Stankoven there, and again, I thought Stankoven, like, people were mocking Stankoven early in the second round, but everybody said he was a first-round talent. They just talked to scouts. They said, no, he's going to go in the second round.
Hey,
but I was like, no, you have.
Go ahead.
You have this extra pick, and he's a talent. Take the talent. And now he's on Carolina because you just made a stupid decision. I defend Fitzgerald a lot because I think on his best day he's a top 10 GM. I don't think he's Zito. I don't think he's Nail. I don't think he's McCrimmon. I don't think he's any of those guys. I don't think he's close, particularly, because I think he's too loyal. I think I think he's overconfident in a way. Mm-hmm. One thing I'll say is he writes off his mistakes and tries to get something for them. He got Paul Cotter for Holtz. He got John Marino for Ty Smith. He got Cody Glass for. I mean, there was a lot in that Cody Glass and Chase Stillman trade, but that was the top prospect. I think Max Graham was in it. Again, neither of those guys I think are going to be anything. Yeah, so I commend him for actually knowing when to call it a loss. But it's a big loss. But anyway, the point I was trying to make, Sam, is that I think there is some actual fire to this smoke. And here's the thing. GMs don't want to work in August. They don't want to work in August. Fitzgerald has probably been home, in his office this entire time. With no time off because he's trying to get the Luke Hughes deal done. He's calling all these GMs. He's making all these moves. I had a lot of people telling me, like, look out for Dawson Mercer. He's getting moved. And there's nothing on that front. I had people tell me, we've seen all the rumors about Dougie Hamilton. Dougie Hamilton was all over the
social media
schedule release video. Yeah. All over the schedule release video.
I was like, wow, hopefully that ages well. That's the first thing.
I can't see them trading him. I can't see them trading right now. It's just the timing is not right. With Kovacevic out,
Yeah.
I don't think you don't want to put yourself in a position where because they don't really have a lot of depth on defense this year. You know, they lost Hataka, they lost Musial, they lost a couple like young guys that could step up. You know, obviously
Nick.
Dumoulin signed in.
Well, except for Duma, but all the other guys didn't amount to anything last season.
Hataka got hurt. That wasn't, you know.
Yeah, I know,
happened.
but he didn't amount to anything. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I know, but he's an NHL defenseman if you ask me.
Yeah.
He just got hurt. And that happens, but
I'm going to make you mad, Nick. Sorry, I've been waiting to tell you this. Did you look at the back-to-back games? Because Max put it in the division, Metro Division, back-to-back games. Guess who has the least?
The Rangers.
Look at the Flyers. 14. I know it's one under.
We have what, 15?
Yeah, 15. Pittsburgh and Washington have 16.
Yeah.
The BJs have 15. But why is it the Rangers always have the least amount? Just like in the 94.
Do they have
93?
a ridiculously low amount? Do they have like 9?
No, they have 13. The Rangers.
Okay. One year we had 16 and they had 9. And that was ridiculous.
Well,
yeah, it's always because
93-94 season, Devils had 17 back-to-backs. The Rangers only had 8. It was rigged, I tell you.
It's crazy.
And the Devils had a great year, by the way. You know, with their 17.
I'm going to write about this, Sam. And before we go, I have to talk about Jack Hughes, but I'm going to write about, and I've talked about this so many times, but it just bears repeating because they don't listen to me. Keep Nico Dawes as your third goalie on the NHL roster because on these back-to-backs, you play him as the backup. So if you have to pull your starter, you don't pull tomorrow's starter. It is like the easiest move you can make. I get that they want to do this cap circumvention and all these, you know, crazy movements. Don't lose Dawes for nothing by putting him on waivers. Let him, he's going to make his NHL salary, whether he's on the NHL team or the AHL team this year anyway. So let him be on the NHL team. Let him travel with the team. Let him be an NHL player. Let him, if someone gets hurt, insert him right in. He's ready to go. And then you can play him as the backup on the back-to-backs. He gets his dress 16 times or 32 times this year. It's great. It's great. And it's just simple. But Sam, before we go, we talked a lot about the schedule. Can we talk about this fan base turning on Jack Hughes?
They are?
Yeah. We got terrible articles being written about the Devils would be better off trading Jack Hughes.
Sounds like clip
whenever anybody
to me.
But these people think this. Like there's a contingent of this fan base that is so on the edges. I almost think, Sam, that they root for them to lose just so they could be right. They'd rather be right than their team win. Like I truly think that. Because they manifest it. They do everything they can to talk themselves into this team being terrible. And, last year they were slightly above average, but if you ask these people, no, this is the worst team. Worst general manager, the fire Fitzgerald, and everybody's terrible. Like, we need to calm down. These are the people that, if you're not in the Stanley Cup Finals, you're the worst team in the world. I have to just remind people that we are lucky to have Jack Hughes on this team. He is the most talented player that's ever played for this franchise. I'm including defense and goalie. He's the most talented player. Barely etching out Scott Niedermayer and Martin Brodeur. The most talented player that's ever played for this franchise. He has signed long-term. He has bought into the franchise. He is everything that we've been searching for from an offensive superstar. except he gets hurt. And I get it. That's frustrating. It is frustrating to have your star continuing to get hurt. He's played 2 full seasons in his career, in his 7-year career. I get that that's frustrating. The last 2 injuries were kind of fluky. They just happened to go on the same body part. You know, there's the Jack Eichel trip that didn't get called somehow. That sent him to the boards. And then there was the part where he just kind of slipped, landed on his shoulder. That was less fluky. He had to be better about that. But you need Superman Jack Hughes this year. Like, he has to hit. I want 120-point Jack Hughes. He just needs to shut people up. Like, they said that Tim Stützle of the Ottawa Senators, the NHL said that Tim Stützle is a better under 25 player than Jack Hughes. I need Jack Hughes to shut these people up. I need to shut the fan base up that says that they should trade him. Like, for what? What could you possibly trade Jack Hughes for that makes you better? Can you think of anything? Like, that's, like, realistic? Like, would you trade Jack Hughes for Sidney Crosby right now?
Absolutely not.
Would you trade him for... Like, it was on the table a couple of years ago that you could have traded Jack Hughes for Jack Eichel. Would you have done that?
Absolutely not.
This guy has top 3 player in the league ceiling. It doesn't come ever. Teams don't get that very often. You know, and we see with like look at Connor Bedard. Like, we thought Bedard was going to be that guy, and he's had a slow start just like Hughes has, but there's no end in sight for Bedard. Like, Jack Hughes, that second year, there was like, it really started to gel. And he is the best puck handler in the world. Nobody handles the puck like Jack Hughes. I will put that up against anybody. And he's very fast. He's incredibly skilled. He's a top 10 player when healthy. He's a top 5 player right now when he hits the ceiling. When he's like that, when he plays like he did in 22, 23, he's a top 5 player in the league.
Just remember one thing, what I saw, because I went to that Four Nations tournament. I felt that finals game, you know, Jack Hughes didn't score. But when he came back, he was a different type of Jack Hughes. But unfortunately, he got hurt. He learned how to kick it up a couple levels.
Yeah.
And that experience from that Four Nations tournament, I think, is going to benefit the New Jersey Devils. It's just, unfortunately, we got a small sample size. When you know, when the play resumed and all that, Nick, he seemed like he was like, you know, 3 strides ahead of everybody, because that tournament was so fast. I can't tell you, that's so skilled, so tough, but he got to be a part of it, and I think, you know, again, hopefully he recovers from his injury. Hopefully he's been lifting some weights, and, you know, hopefully he's going to be healthy. I want a healthy Jack Hughes. I want an 82-game Jack Hughes. And I want a productive Jack Hughes. That's my expectations for him. I don't know why these fans want to trade him, because if you're going to trade him, you might as well trade Luke as well. Like, why would you want to do that? Doesn't make sense.
Hey, let's not go down. Listen, the Vancouver fans are going to start having meat sweats over that possibility. So let's not even talk about that. Like, guys, let the guy, like, just be happy that you have the Hughes brothers here.
Plus, you got him at $8 million right now, and some of these contracts are given out, and then the new CBA. I mean, he's going to be making a lot more. He could have made a lot more, but he, you know, again, I think he understands the vision in New Jersey. You know, unfortunately with the injuries, but I'll leave it at that. Let the naysayers talk. Jack Hughes is going to be just fine.
So dumb.
Just no more turnovers, Jack. That's all I ask.
His style of play, there's going to be turnovers. One last thing I'll say. Excuse me. I think this team had a lot of trouble providing offense in the Keefe system. And I don't think that's a product of Keefe's system. I think Keefe's system is really hard. It's demanding. I think now that they're used to that system and playing another training camp under that system, I think Sheldon Keefe's coaching is going to shine this year. I think that you're going to see a really good offensive season from Luke Hughes as long as he's healthy. And as long as it's like this contract negotiation is going long. But you're going to see a really good season of Jack Hughes now that he, again, one thing before that Four Nations face-off, he was playing so well defensively. Jack Hughes was the best penalty killer in the league. I don't remember if they ended up getting one towards the end of the season, but at one point he was on the ice for 2 or 3 shorthanded goals and none against. He was on the ice for 0 power play goals against. So he was playing so incredibly well on the penalty kill. He was doing so much well. This player is a gem. I'm so happy he's here. Yeah. Let's all just celebrate Jack Hughes. Nothing else.
Yeah. Now let's celebrate pucksandpitchforks.com. What do you have to plug?
Yeah, we got I wrote about the Rangers schedule, Quirk. I wrote about the October schedule. Sam, I finally did it. I wrote about the rule that ruined the Devils' chances to get Wayne Gretzky. That is up on pucksandpitchforks.com.
I'm going to read
right
that.
Now.
I'm going to read that.
It's interesting.
Because but without reading it, I'll just say this, since I have nothing to plug, is that the Devils had a real chance in the mid-'90s, towards the late '90s, when he was a free agent, to grab the headlines from the Rangers. And you had a team that was budding, a Stanley Cup contender.
This is when he left St. Louis?
St. Louis, yeah. You could have sold out the Meadowlands every night if he was there. It could have rebranded the Devils a little bit, but it would have buried the whole Mickey Mouse comment. Because even to this day, I still haven't forgiven him with that Mickey Mouse comment. Even though Danica, we've had him on saying, you guys got to forget about it. It's like, no. Because that's what I'm holding on to, us against the world, including Wayne Gretzky. So.
You know what the irony of all this is?
What's that?
In that same draft, the Devils probably should have taken Mark Messier.
That's interesting.
But he had a rough season in the WHA, and he fell to the 3rd round. The talent was there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Stories at pucksandpitchforks.com. There's a lot of webs. Went over the rule, went over kind of what happened and how he ended up on Edmonton, and how, most importantly, why the NHL allowed him to stay on Edmonton. That's the interesting part, because that's the interesting part. Go to pucksandpitchforks.com, check that story out, and we have a million things on Luke Hughes coming up. We have a million things on Dougie Hamilton coming up. We have a million things on Dawson Mercer. We're going to talk. Oh, and it's What If Week at Fansided. So there's going to be. I'm going to do 3 more What If articles before Saturday night.
What if we were Ranger fans, Nick?
I'd be even sadder.
Yeah, I know. I'd probably I'd be a big loser sitting in my basement.
I'd be writing about trying to talk myself into Alexis Lafreniere.
Yeah.
Imagine that life.
Yeah. We remember '94. Mark Messier, best captain ever. One last thing. Happy birthday to Ted. His birthday's tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Ted.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Ted. Alrighty. Getting out of here. Go to pucksandpitchforks.com. Dropping the podcast at midnight. Till next time. Let's go